Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another game of the Champions Cup. This one, Lyon taking on the Bulls. Now, Lyon, they come in as favourites. The Bulls as one of the underdogs, but sitting decently on the URC table. Feel like this could be quite an interesting matchup, and we've just seen a French side take on a South African team. That game going right down to the wire, and I feel like this one will be no different. Looking through at Pool 1, as it currently sits, Bordeaux are at the top of the bunch, Saracens in second, and then Bristol sitting in third. Now, I should mention Bordeaux recently getting themselves a big win over Bristol, so that means that they will actually keep that spot. And number 1, Lyon versus the Bulls. Whoever wins this game theoretically will jump up to around that third place, maybe even second, depending on the overall result. In the chat, we have got the hi all and Hamish says, Robert, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Looking through at the way that the table sits for these two sides in their respective competitions. Like I mentioned, the Bulls doing pretty well throughout the URC season. They are sitting there in third on the 25 points. Only Leinster and Glasgow above them. They'll be hoping to slowly make up that ground as the season progresses. For Lyon, they are actually down in 12th at the moment. Now, with the side that they've got, it makes it very hard to believe that they find themselves sitting that low in the top 14. Racing 92 at the top, alongside Toulon and Castres, actually all sitting on the 28 points. A long way to go for Lyon if they want to get to that top 6 near the end of the competition. But looking through at the starting lineups and reserves of these two sides, Lyon, they've actually got quite a few players from the Highlanders, including Liam Coltman and Fiel Fotuweka. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in this contest, because alongside that, they've got Jordan Talfo, of course, ex-Crusaders man, Romain Talfa for Noah, the French international, Kyle Godwin in the midfield with Fletcher Smith at number 10, Thika Abrahams going up against his fellow South Africans here, and Monty Ioane and Dumatier out on both of the wings. For the Bulls, they have got the following lineup: Matanzima Vessels and also Mornay Smith as the front row, Macho van Staden in the loose forward trio with Marcel Kutsia, actually playing 6 and 8 for this game. Now, normally we are used to seeing Kutsia at either number 6 or number 7, but getting the opportunity at 8 here rather than someone like an Heinrich Lowe. Zach Berger and Chris Smith will be the 19 combo with Mapo and Foster in the midfield, and then Devon Williams, a big opportunity for him to start at number 15, Immelman and Peterson, the two men who are out on the wings. In the chat as well, we have got Hi Hamish, can't believe the Stormers have beaten La Rochelle. Tell you what, they did extremely well to stay in that contest. And I have to say, they showed a lot of heart in those final moments. I was looking through at some of the stats for that game, and you see they had like 15 or 16 handling errors. They gave away probably about 10 penalties or something along those lines, but they kept in it. And they managed to pull it off right at the end. That disallowed try for La Rochelle because of that head contact from Joel Scalevi. And then the Stormers just not giving in. Mane Lebok getting that last minute kick over as well. And I mean, it will build their confidence, because if they can win games that they aren't looking that flash in, like, what does that mean for the games that they are looking good in? Like, they have got a good URC season just around the corner, I believe, for the Stormers. They're sitting in about 10th at the moment, but they'll really want to push towards that top 4 as the competition goes on. Speaking of the top 4, these two sides, they are hoping to stay either there for the Bulls or get there. If you are Lyon, their last 5 contests, they did lose to Stade Francais. They lost to Oyonnax, whose name I think I've mispronounced. They beat Bayonne, and they also lost to Castres, losing to Bristol last week in the first round of the Champions Cup. So I'll be honest, they're having a tough batch, even though they've got all the talent in the world, I believe, throughout the starting lineup. Just the little things they are getting wrong at the moment. Lyon not quite scoring themselves enough tries, and when they do, the opposition also seem like they score a few as well. And then for the Bulls, they did beat Cardiff, they lost to Edinburgh, they did get themselves 3 successful games in a row though. Connacht, they were able to beat them. Sharks, they bet, and then Saracens last week, which is a big upset when you consider, well, it's an upset in some regards, only because when you see how much Saracens bet Connacht by more recently, just tells you how impressive that game was from the Bulls to be able to pretty much mitigate a Saracen side in South Africa. There were a lot of cards coming for the Saracen side in that game. I have a feeling this one, though, we'll see a lot more discipline from these two teams as they look to put on a good show. But we are currently only 5 minutes away from the kickoff. ladies and gentlemen, of this contest. Now, this is the last round of the Champions Cup for a little bit of time. The next round will be taking place in around 4 weeks' time. So for Toulon, or sorry, not for Toulon, for Lyon, their next game of the Champions Cup is actually going to be up against Connacht, followed the week after with their game up against the Saracens. But they've got a little bit of top 14 action that they will be attending to first, up against Bordeaux, Montpellier, and also Toulouse in the 7th of January for the Bulls. They have also got their games taking place for the Champions Cup, little way away, taking place up against the Bristol Bears in 27 days. Then they've got their game up against Bordeaux the week after, who do look like they're going to be a very hard side to beat. Belbari, Damien Pinot, some very good players scattered throughout Bordeaux. And then they've got a few South African derbies also just around the corner for the Bulls up against the Stormers, and then head-to-heads up against the Lions back-to-back, although quite a few weeks, about 3 apart from each of those fixtures. We have got there. What is your prediction for this game? I say Bulls by 22. I'll be honest, I don't see the Bulls, if they do win, winning by more than maybe 5 or 10 points. They do come in as underdogs for this contest, so if they manage to beat this Lyon team by 22 points in France, like, that would be absolutely insane if they were able to do that. That's not saying they can't, but it would be extremely impressive. Going to be a humdinger, says Arthur, and also go the Bulls. But yeah, I can see the Bulls winning by around that 5 mark if they get over the line early. But then, the Stormers have just shown us you don't need to get over the line early. You just need to be the last team to get those final points on the board. And where are these matches happening? So this one is taking place in France. The last game that we covered on the channel was actually taking place in South Africa. So they got a little bit of, I guess, a few continents covered with the matches that are taking place. They're just showing that combination of Fletcher Smith and Paige Rello. I think it's going to be important that those two men get it right early on, because the Bulls have got that, I guess you'd almost call them the set combo of Zach Berger and Chris Smith. They've gone with that quite a bit in the past. Bulls coming together now as a good team, says Foldy. Yeah, they've got a lot of potential to do well, not just in the URC, not just in the Champions Cup, but any competition that they find themselves in over the next couple of years. And it's good to see because, I just saw Arno Botta's actually coming off the bench for Lyon. There's quite a few South African players scattered into this Lyon side, of course. And number 15, Thika Abraham's going to be there. Which channel is streaming it? Says Bukossi. If you're talking about DSTV, normally it's about 202, I think, or somewhere around there. One of the early-ish numbers in the 200s, I believe. But for us here in New Zealand, it is actually on Sky Sport 1. But I think that's a little bit different what it is in South Africa. They're just showing that midfield combo, Harold Foster and Lionel Mapo. We're going head to head with Kyle Godwin and Alfred Patterson. Devon Williams at number 15, going head to head with Thika Abrahams. I quite enjoy the fact that Thika Abrahams playing for Lyon here, because it's going to be a good test, similar to what we saw in the last game when we saw La Rochelle having Dylan Lades going head to head with the South African team. It just adds a little bit more, I guess, oomph into the competition, a little bit more feeling. Looks like Marcel Kutsia going to be leading out his side alongside Jordan Talfua for Lyon. Brilliant player. Very physical in the breakdowns. And the last game between the Stormers and La Rochelle, we actually saw that the physicality is something that these French sides like to bring up against the South African team. One moment, I am about to sneeze. We will quickly mute. We are good. Looks like there's a decent crowd in attendance. I think they would have liked a few more seats full, but Champions Cup, of course, is always one of those ones that, depending on who the team are playing, depends on whether they, I guess, interest the local crowd. But Jordan Talfua going to be playing at number 8. He's got a Samoan headgear on. We're going to bring some physicality to the contest. It will be Mike Adamson in charge of this one. Video referee will be Andrew McMenemy. Yep, that's how you say it. That sounds like a bit of a tongue twister, to be honest, but they're showing Liam Coltman. Of course, the Highlanders. They've lost a lot of good hookers over the last few years. Lost Liam Coltman, lost Ash Dixon. Struggling at the moment, the Highlanders. I wonder who they will bring in next season to try and turn it around. They've already confirmed their squad, but perhaps a couple of years from now, they keep making those little changes. Fletcher Smith to kick this one off from left to right, and we are underway at Matmut Stadium for this matchup. Nicely taken just inside of the 22 for Yanko Swanepoel, and the Bulls are in possession now. Zach Berger rolling this ball back, still inside of the 22. I believe it's been taken back though. He is not able to find touch on the full. He's going to be putting this one up high. Dumitier does beautifully under the high ball to be able to clean it up. Evening, Hamish. Appears that the South African teams continue with these 1-point games, says Josh Pike. You're very well managed, some would say, letting them go right down to the wide just to win them in the final moments. Here comes Thika Abrahams up against the Bulls. And already they've tried to hold him up, knowing that he's one of the smaller players out there on the field for Lyon. Nice cellular dummy from Roman Taufafanua. Now rolling this one back into the pocket. Fletcher Smith will put it high. Being chased hard by Lyon, but beautifully taken under the high ball, Devon Williams. It'll give him a lot of confidence as well. The first touch that he has had, Champions Cup debut. Morning, Kiwi lads, good to see you. Says Spider-Mick, it is good to see you too, mate. Hope you have been enjoying the Champions Cup action that we've had happening all around the world, whether it's South Africa, France, England, Ireland, you name it, it's been happening. And there's been some very good games. A lot of 1-pointers, or 2 points, 3 points split in them. The slight change to the rule, of course, was Saracens Connacht. That's a knock-on from Smith. And now, for the Bulls, they have got the chance of kicking this ball in behind Zach Berger, finding a bit of space. Monty Ioane. Charge down inside of the 22, sits up for the Bulls, and the first try of the match comes for them. 2 minutes into the game, Zach Berger scores it. That was just a bit of an early mistake from the young Kiwi Fletcher Smith. And Thika Abrahams tries to kick it and does end up kicking it straight into the hands of young Hendrik Wessels. And who says Mimania? Beautiful charge down. And also the ball, says Robert. And there in Zach Berger, right place, right time to be able to pounce on that ball. And that is how you silence the opposition home crowd advantage. You score early. Mistake on the halfway line, though, from Fletcher Smith certainly did not help Lyon in that scenario. Now, I know that the Bulls were $4 underdogs going into this game, and I'm kind of curious to know how those odds change as this match progresses. Currently, the Bulls are $2.80 underdogs, even though they have got themselves a 7-point lead. We will have to wait and see whether or not Lyon can come back into this contest. And Bulls all the way. Says Helen Howe. High fives. Going to Zach Berger after he was able to get them on the board early. It's kicked off long by Lyon. Waiting for this one inside was Gumedi. 22 metres out from their line again. Looks like Zach Berger will be rolling this one. Giving himself a bit more time, and this one can find the touchline, seeing as he is inside of the 22, although he's opted to go infield once more, trying to keep this ball in the field of play, perhaps trying to wear down this Lyon team. Good bit of strength shown by Sir Jill Peterson, although he's just tried to go straight through the middle of the breakdown. Referee tells him to get out of it. Now back across, Fialfortuaker. Big run forward from him. A lot of Super Rugby talent in the top 14 currently. Back to the pocket, Fletcher Smith. Puts it up high again. Waiting for that one to come down. The Bulls haven't quite been able to clean it up. Now it's back to Chris Smith. He's got it in hand. Doesn't often run the ball. Has decided to take contact there. Bulls underdog. 7's up already. Says Spider-Mick. Yeah, they came in as underdog. It is a massive advantage when you are a French side playing in France. And, I mean, the Champions Cup, perhaps it's going to be a little bit of a different story because of the unpredictability of this game and the unpredictability of the sides they're facing. But normally, France versus France, the home side, even if they're 15th on the table, the home side normally gets over the line. A bit of a mistake there from Devon Williams, not taking it cleanly. That was close to high from Dumitier. 25 metres out from their own line now, the Bulls. Going to go left by the looks of it with Berger. Passes it off to Marcel Kurtzia. Sat down by Jordan Taufa, the two men who led their sides out onto the field. Now Zach Berger rolling it back again. The Bulls would definitely be happy with the way that they've started this game, getting the early points on the board off the mistake of Lyon. Now Dumetier, he's knocked that one on. Available now for Martin Zemo. Slings it off to Jan Henrik Vessels. Kicked him behind from Foster. Looking for a bit of territory here. Cleaned up by Lyon inside of their own half. Fletcher Smith kicks it out on the full. You can see why the Hurricanes got rid of him. No, sorry, that's very harsh, isn't it? But true at the moment from this first 5 minutes. It's not looking great at the moment for Fletcher Smith. It's taken me till 5.5 minutes in to realise both number 10's last names are Smith. So it's battle of Chris versus Fletcher at this point. And I'd have to say Chris has got the heavy advantage. Now nicely taken by Gumedi. Across to this left-hand side. Beautiful stepping from Harold Foster. Now Berger going back to the left. A lot of physicality being shown early on in this match. Good hands from Marcel Kurtzia. Short ball from Chris Smith. It will be the knock-on now against the Bulls. And it is back in the hands of Lyon, although the referee says play on. And it's actually going to be turned over now by the Bulls. I assume that there was no knock-on then. We are play on. Now back across to the left-hand side. Marco van Staden goes to Marcel Kurtzia. Lyon not quite as effective in the breakdowns as La Rochelle were in their game up against the Stormers, although they are still attempting a couple turnovers. Jordan Talfua, the main man, who is lurking right next to that breakdown. Swanepoel, tackled by Coltman. Attack and run again from Henry Immelman. Berger back across to Swanepoel. Martin Zema has knocked that ball on again. Now Romain Talfafanua going across to this right-hand side. Fletcher Smith put in the kick and behind it straight to Devon Williams. It's a terrible kick. It sounds like I'm being harsh on the man, but he's had an absolute shocker the first 7 minutes. Now kicking this one downfield. Doesn't find touch with his clearing kick there. Fletcher Smith. And now Chris Smith on the halfway line. Chance for the Bulls to be able to counter-attack here. 47 metres out from the line. Wayanko Swanepoel. Berger to Smith. Foster has the men on his outside. Does get it out wide to Henry Immelman, who's shown already that he's got a lot of power when he has that ball in hand. Berger now back across infield to Marcel Kurtzia. Jordan Talfua looking for the turnover. Mike Adamson says no. Chris Smith now back across to Swanepoel, who's had a heavy amount of work to do in the early stages of this contest. Foster back to Smith again. Lionel Mapoyo. In fact, it's Sergio Peterson. Puts the kick in behind. Another knock on this time from Smith. Wow. I mean, it's not the start that he would have been after. I'll be honest. I know I said about how I thought the Bulls might win this game by 5. If Smith's on the field for the full 80 minutes, I think the Bulls win this maybe by that 22 that was mentioned earlier on. Because it's just error after error. And when your first 5 isn't firing, your backline isn't. And it doesn't matter how strong the players on the outside are. You look at Monty, Ioane, Kyle, Godwin, Ethan Dumetier. None of those men are going to be touching the ball if they can't get it right in the 9-10 channel. Looks like there's already a bit of an injury here for one of the Bulls players. Hopefully nothing too serious. The last thing they want at this stage of the contest when they do have full momentum is some sort of injury to be popping up. Trying to work out who it is. I believe it's Martin Zema who has stayed down. Jordan Talfua now just having a bit of a conversation with the forwards. Trying to get them fired up. See what they can do in this contest up against what has been a very good start for the Bulls in the early stages of this contest. I'm not actually too sure what the heat is in terms of temperature in France. I assume that it's somewhere around maybe 10 degrees. Somewhere around there. I'll have a quick Google. What is the temperature in Lyon? 6 degrees. It's even worse. But it is evening, so that is why it's so chilly. So you go from a game that was taking place in South Africa where it was about 28 degrees to this game here taking place in 6 degrees. It just shows you the different I guess, conditions that South Africa bring to this competition, as well as a different competitive nature than some of the other teams that these Champions Cup sides are used to facing. Now, Zach Burger going off to this left-hand side. Gumedi again, trying to charge his way forward. Great bit of work from the Bulls to keep this in possession. Marcel Kutsia now going across Chris Smith. Little chip in behind Aldon Foster. It's kicked almost dead by Monty Ioandi under a huge amount of pressure, but just gets it out from the in-goal area. Now going to the left-hand side. Space opening up close to a forward pass. Down the wing now looking for the offload. It's gone back into the hands of the Bulls. Another early mistake from Lyon and giving up the possession. Zach Burger back across to the right-hand side. Sergio Peterson runs straight at Roman Taufafanua. Now to the right, Zach Burger almost through, but he is stopped well. Chris Smith back across to Marco van Staden. They are just rampaging at the moment, the Bulls. And that is going to be a penalty for a high shot. They could take the 3 if they really want it, or they can look to be even more aggressive here and continue this momentum, put it into the corner. I think that's what Jake White now has to try and decide. What do they want to do here? Yeah, Liam Coleman just gets him round the chin. It looks like they are actually going to be taking on the 3 points. Or are they? It seems like that is the option that the Bulls are opting for. Which, I mean, I understand. Well and truly, you want to get as many early points as you can, but you wonder, with so many early errors from Lyon, is this when you really look to put the screws in and really put the foot down, try and bring them into deep water, although 3 points still a very viable option here. 21 metres out, you won't get too many kicks easier than that. Chris Smith has got it over, making the score now 10 points to 0 in favour of the Bulls, and just like that, the Bulls are very, very close to being favourites. And that is pretty impressive compared with the fact that they did come in as quite heavy underdogs at the start of this match. Though no one would have been able to predict the Fletcher Smith performance thus far. It's going to be kicked off long. And Gumedi again waiting for that one inside of the 22 for the Bulls. Mike Adamson saying no penalty in the breakdown due to the players backing away. Now Burger with the box kick keeps it in the field of play, and that is the strategy at the moment for the Bulls. Try and put Dumitier under pressure, although he has been able to handle that this time. And the Bulls' horn is sharp, says Julian. Yeah, they've looked very good so far. That is going to be a knock-on against the Bulls, though. Chance here for Thika Abrahams. Slinging pass goes out wide, running out of space in the wide channel, but staying in the field of play. Yeah, the Bulls very efficient with what they've been able to do throughout the early stages of this match. Marcel Kutsia looking for the turnover, doesn't get a. Fletcher Smith now, short ball off to Taufafanua. It's loose again here. The Bulls rampaging to try and steal it, but it is a knock-on the ground. And now it is going to be the scrum feed for Lyon, who have just really struggled to get any sort of momentum flowing here. It does seem like the Bulls coaches are actually looking the angrier of the two coaches. So I guess that tells you how much the Bulls are striving for perfection in this competition. I mentioned that they got themselves to win over Saracens in their opening contest, and due to that, they actually find themselves sitting in 4th place. They're sitting on the 4, although they have got the extra game in hand over someone like a Saracens who has already played the 2. And alongside that, I should mention that Bordeaux, they have also just beaten Bristol, so they are sitting there on, I believe, the 10 points now. So there's still potential that we could see the Bulls actually shoot right up into 2nd, but they can't go any higher than that at this stage of the competition. We have got there, let's go the Bulls, says Bupar. Welcome in, mate. We are doing extremely well. Mike Adamson saying we're going to have another scrum reset here. So it's not quite getting it right on the halfway line. Fotuake already drenched in sweat. It's been a frantic tempo for the first little while of this contest, and I believe it will stay that way up until maybe about 25 minutes. Oh, Zach Burger looks like he's coughing up a lung at the moment. Might even have something wrong with his nose. Yeah, he doesn't look too flash, Zachberger. He's going to be all right. He's going to continue running around. But yeah, looked like he was really choking on something. Vaka Abrahams. They're kicking behind now. Dumitier. A lot of space back there. Lionel Mapo has managed to just take it to ground. 15 metres out from their own line. Lyon with the counter ruck. Zachberger under a lot of pressure. Players have to be careful not to accidentally give away the penalty in the breakdown. So it will stay on the Bulls side for now. Jordan Talfua locked over the ball, wins the penalty for Lyon. And how many teams South Africa have? Hamish says Spider Mix. So for this competition, they have got 2. And then in the Challenge Cup, they have got 3, I believe. It's the Lions, the Sharks, the Cheetahs, and there might... Is there another South African side in the Challenge Cup? I could be wrong there. There might be one more scattered in there. I definitely know the Cheetahs, the Sharks, and the Lions are in there. Someone else might be able to help me out here. Is there one more South African side in the Challenge Cup? I should mention whoever finishes 5th in each of the 4 groups does actually automatically qualify for the Challenge Cup round of 16. So they will still have plenty of rugby, but the team in last, that is the end of their competitions. There's been a few upsets along the way. That is going to be an advantage now for Lyon after the ball has been dragged down by the Bulls. Another knock-on from Fletcher Smith. So they will go back for the original penalty. Right, this is a decision for Lyon now. They're down by 10. They take the quick tap, but he wasn't on the mark, says the referee. He must have been about, what, 2 inches from the mark? 10, says Julian there. 10 South African teams. Or, no, 10 points I think that is. And Lions, Sharks and Cheetahs are in the Challenge Cup. Okay, so no other team sneaks in, do they? Of the South African. So it's actually Sharks versus Cheetahs, believe taking place tomorrow. Another quick tap taken by Lyon. This time they were on the mark, going to the short side. Roman Taufafanua. I think he's going to be held up there. No, he might have just wrestled it down. Referee's looking for the ball. And it is held up, they say. Mistake made by Lyon. Brilliant defence from the Bulls. Really making it difficult here for the home side to find their momentum early. Taufafanua extremely close to getting that one down. I think that was all down to Harold Foster getting him underneath. In fact, it's Zachberger who was able to just rip himself underneath Taufafanua's body, stopping any chance of him getting it down. It looks like he might have injured himself in the process. Bulls and the Stormers are in the Champions Cup. They certainly are. Stormers playing up against La Rochelle just a few hours ago. And what a finish to that contest it was. 1 point difference between the sides. Just in case no one's seen that game, or anyone hasn't seen that game, I won't tell you who wins, but I do recommend checking it out. Although I will mention you will see a lot of handling errors and you will see a lot of penalties. But if you like that sort of thing, or you don't mind that sort of thing to see a close game of rugby, then that would be a decent one to be able to watch. Now Matanzima sat down. Another advantage. Fletcher Smith's dropped the ball again. Man's got no chance of catching the ball at all here. I don't think I've ever seen Fletcher Smith play this badly. And I'll be honest, like, he's played pretty badly at times for the Hurricanes, but I can see why they're in 12th. Because, like I mentioned, the back line, you need it to be functioning, but every time he's tried to catch the ball or pass the ball, it's just gone out of his hands. Okay, they've got handling errors, I believe that is. Just 4 in the 2. Nervous, says Spider-Man. Yeah, it's a big opportunity for the youngster, but, like, it's still surprising in terms of everything that could go wrong for him has in the early stages. And who scored the Bulls try? It was scored by Zachberger, the man who is currently limping with a knee injury. So hopefully he's going to be able to continue. And if not, you know, that could be quite a big hit because he doesn't look flash. He looks like he's kind of really trying to get it going. He's trying to run here after the team, but he's just not quite quick enough. Speaking of pace, though, Sergio Peterson now breaking the line through Abrahams. And what a great tackle that is from Lyon. Now driving them backwards. A lot of pressure coming in the breakdown, but the Bulls managed to maintain the ball. Now Zachberger feel like he's trying to run off that injury. And at the moment, it looks like he's been able to do just that. Harold Foster with the kick in behind again. Last time that happened, it was awkward. Fletcher Smith, no option but to run that ball into touch. Now it is going to be the line out for the Bulls. They are ruthless at the moment. Already almost 20 minutes into this contest. Massive shot coming on Sergio Peterson, though. I think that was by Pacquiao. And also come on the Bulls and come on Bulls. Says Bupar. Fletcher Smith nowhere to be able to go but into touch. Harold Foster seems to be playing that annoying little territory kicking role when you're inside of the opposition half. And to be honest, that is one of the most effective ways to make your opposition have those little errors. I feel like he's realised that. We've already seen those 2 kicks in behind, and both times they've been successful. So I think he will continue to use it. Zach Berger rushed defence there from the Bulls. So there was a bit of spooning going on the ground between Marco van Staden and the big Leon Locke. They didn't look like they liked each other very long, though. It's going to be kicked downfield for Lyon. Do they take it quickly, the Bulls? No, they will decide instead to wait for this line out, about 22 metres out. 20 minutes in. It's flown by. I'll be honest. I feel like this game, in terms of the speed that this half has felt, it's felt about twice as quick as the last game that we watched, La Rochelle versus the Stormers. And it could be from the lack of the handling errors that we have seen. We've seen a lot of running rugby between these two sides for the first 20 minutes or so. Now the Bulls going back across to the right-hand side, just on the halfway line. Lionel Mapo driven backwards there by Okuya. And the penalty goes the way of Lyon again. Seems like they've brought plenty of energy into the breakdowns. Go Lions to take out the Challenge Cup, says Spider Mech. I mean, they're in with a shot at the moment. I feel like the Challenge Cup is in a similar boat to the Champions Cup at the moment, how there's like 10 teams or so that really look like they've got a good chance of making it far. Which is the most expensive city to live in New Zealand? Probably Auckland, I think, is up there anyway. Like in terms of prices. Like if you bought the same house in Auckland and the same house in, let's say, what's a small town? Other than the one that I'm in. Like if you were to buy, let's say, the same size house in Auckland as you were in Timaru, which is just a small town in the South Island, you're probably looking at spending an extra maybe $800,000 just to buy it in Auckland than you would be down south. So, yeah, it's one of those ones that if you want to live in a big city and that's your kind of thing, then Auckland's going to get plenty of your money. But there's a bit to do. I prefer the small towns, though, to be honest, even though we don't have anywhere open at all. Back and twice as ugly, says a cool story, bro. Welcome back, mate. You are doing well. Big shot on Godwin there from Marco van Staden. And Auckland expensive as, says Spider-Mick. Yeah, it's got to be up there in terms of the most expensive in New Zealand, if not the most expensive, I'd assume. And watching from a bar in the middle of Botswana on holiday here, says not everyday cultures. Well, hopefully you are enjoying your holiday thus far. Plenty more planned in the near future. Going off to the left-hand side, Lyon now starting to put together a few phases, something that they have struggled with throughout the first quarter of this contest. Liam Coltman now, the ex-Highlander hooker, does get it going forward. Short ball from Fletcher Smith to Monty Ioane. Now, he is a man who we haven't seen enough of. I thought Christchurch, Christchurch is, yes, Christchurch is expensive, but it's nowhere near Auckland. Turns up prices, cross kick, Fletcher Smith straight to Dumetier, and he will score the try. Oh, that's a cheap shot in the spine. And it doesn't look like they are too happy about it either. One of the Bulls players coming steaming in to whack into him after he's put the ball down. I don't know whether the referee will have a chat with him for that. And also, we have their ball, let's go, says Christian. And how do Kiwis celebrate the festive season? In South Africa, we become excited beginning of December. But going on vacation or parties with friends, says Bupa. I mean, for us, we just kind of, I don't think people oh, yeah, that's a bad shot from Jan Hendrik Vessels. I've actually seen Evan Ruiz, I believe it was, actually got a yellow card for that in one of the other games a little while ago. But yeah, like in New Zealand, I don't think people really do too much up until like the week of Christmas, if that makes sense. Like we're normally pretty chilled out throughout December, and then like some people will go on holiday to like the lakes or something for Christmas. But you know, 26th of December in New Zealand pretty much goes back to normal. And then you got New Year's. That kick has gone over from Lyon, so that will now make the score 10 points to 7, closing the gap a little bit here. And that's more like Lyon that we remember seeing. Yeah, it's going to be the penalty on the halfway line as well for Lyon due to that late shot. So really silly from Jan-Hendrik Wessels to give it away. And now Lyon have the option of either taking the 3 from the halfway line or they can kick for the corner. Have another crack. Is it snowing in Lyon? I'm almost always seeing snow on the Stade Garrald. No, it looks relatively all right. Yeah, like they're saying, late in a shoulder charge. He's probably lucky to still be out there on the field, to be honest. Expensive as Auckland and Wellington, says Robert. Like even going on holiday to Auckland for a week or something, you could probably go on a holiday somewhere else in New Zealand for 2 or 3 weeks for that same price. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's one of those places, though, that if you don't like big cities and like, what happened there? Lyon were looking the wrong way at line-out time. Liam Coltman threw the ball in, and then the Bulls just took it because no one was watching. And now they've got themselves a counter-attacking chance. That looked close to forward from Devon Williams to Lionel Mapoba, currently on the halfway line here for the Bulls. Zach Berger. Oh, big shot there. Got to wrap the arms for y'all. Now going back across to the right, Chris Smith goes to Martin Zima. To my awesome person Hamish, says Chloe. Hello, Chloe. Hope you are doing very well. Going back for the penalty for the Bulls here for the no-arms tackle. And Bulls don't slap now and believe. Says Alan, and a hi to everyone. Says Chloe. You're a fellow Stormers fan, right? I've seen you around in Stormers streams before. Yep, they are going to go upstairs. Yeah, that's probably going to be at least a yellow card here for Fial Fotuaika. I believe it will stay as a yellow because the player was already dropping due to another tackle being made. But it's still not smart. It's not easy, but believe the Bulls will stand on business, says Bupa. Okay, referee's saying he sees head contact. Commentators are saying they don't see head contact. Shoulder to shoulder. And then the head kind of goes back in the contact. Yeah, I think that's on the arm. He's luckily shielded that shot from really hitting him in the jaw. I think this is still going to be at least a penalty, if not maybe a yellow card for Fial Fotuaika. I do not see it going any further than yellow. And French Coma, I guess, says Bupar. Just a penalty, they have said there. And I Chloe says Robert, and I Chloe says Spider Mick. They're just saying that maybe Fial Fotuaika has an argument to say if it's not a high shot, then why am I being penalised? And Bulls by 13 points, my prediction, says Christian. Ball is going to be kicked into touch there, about 22 metres out from the line now for the Bulls. Got 15 minutes remaining in this first half. I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, we are hoping to do some of the Champions Cup tomorrow. It may not be a South African team that is playing, but we are going to be covering the game between Toulouse and Harlequins on the channel, which I believe actually has a few South Africans in there, whether that is Andre Esterhazen. It's about all I can think of at the moment, but there's a few others, I'm sure. And I'm a Bulls supporter, though I do like the Lions and our other teams as well. Says Chloe, that ball's going to go into touch. Or Jan-Hendrik Wessels really pushing and shoving everyone out there on the field at the moment, but it was a great bit of work from Lyon and Liam Coltman to drive him into touch. Scrum or line out, they've got the option of. Crowd not too happy, so I'd assume that is meaning that it's going to be a Bulls scrum or line out. The sounds of that. Yep, I was correct. You normally work out who is going to be throwing the ball from the crowd's reaction at home. Now Jan Hendrik Wessels throws this one into the front, nicely taken by Swanepoel. Back across to the right for the Bulls hooker charging. Zach Berger going across to Slabert. Now Berger to the left-hand side, Smith, flat ball to Jan Hendrik Wessels, tapping go balls. Says Bupar there. Now to the left once more, close to the touchline, Gumedi just stays in the field of play. It's a moment of brilliance from the big man. And Sergio Peterson scores the try. Got the offload on the inside. Peterson strikes. Got a massive smile on his face as well. He is loving it. They'll just check this to see whether or not the man has gone into touch, I would say. But I think that's fine from Gumedi. I think he got the pass away just in time. And South Africa says Splash TV. A great control of the body there from the big man. Oh, the elbow was close to the ground. Did it touch the ground before he got the ball down? Or got the ball away, I should say. And yes, the ball, and also hi, Robert and Spider. Here's Chloe. I think it's going to stand. And that'll make the score 15 points to 7 now with a kick to come. We have got there is Kutli Arinsa in the team. He is not, no. So him, Billy LaRue, and Kanan Moody all left out of this Bulls lineup. Chris Smith now lines up the kick, and he's actually missed that from straight out in front. So the points difference is still 8 between these two sides. He's done very well, the big man, to get that offload away. The Bulls are actually favourites now, ladies and gentlemen. For anyone who was wondering about who is sitting as, I guess, the side that has the momentum, it's got to be the Bulls here. 11 minutes remaining, kicked off long from Fletcher Smith. Now kicked long from Zach Berger as well. And clean sweep for South Africa. Says Splash TV, sadly won't be possible if you're talking about the challenge and the champion. Well, actually, no, it is possible. It's just the fact that one South African side has to lose. Because Sharks versus Cheetahs is South Africa versus South Africa. But there is potential of both Champions Cup sides getting themselves the victories. It's going to be kicked downfield from Chris Smith. Now Thika Abrahams at the back. That one's drifting towards the touchline, but it stays in the field of play. We've got there Italy sky blue jerseys. Says cool story, bro. And let's hope so, says Bupar. Now Fletcher Smith returning fire with the high ball of his own. Beautifully taken by Devin Williams. I remember calling the Curry Cup a few years ago, and he was playing for the Pumas in that competition. Physical work in the breakdown there from Lyon. I think they'll say that they've almost sealed off the ball, but has popped out the back for Zach Berger. And Strange Hamish, no yellow or red yet. Says Spider McGee, everyone's been behaving themselves throughout the first. Well, they haven't really been behaving themselves. They just haven't done anything that's bad enough. Because we've already seen a late shot after a try's been scored, and also a shoulder to shoulder that we're both just given as penalties. Again, big run forward from Janko Swanepoel. He is having a tremendous game. And one of the South African teams is going to win the Euros. Says Splash TV. And I assume you feel the same way about the URC, Splash TV. And if so, which team do you think it will be? Do you think it will be the Bulls? At the moment, they are sitting in third. That is a brilliant bit of work. Although it was actually knocked on by the Bulls first. And come on, Bulls, let's go. Says Bupar there as well. Sergio Peterson, just a little knock on. When he went up for that ball, he's disappointed. He would have loved to be able to hang on to that one. And I hope all is enjoying the day today. Put the Christmas tree up. Looks all beautiful. Says Chloe. I'll be honest, we actually haven't got the Christmas tree up yet. I think we were going to put it up the start of December. But the problem we've got, right, is there's just nowhere to put it. Like, in terms of the walls, every part of the wall has something like leaning on it, or not leaning on it, but like something in front of it, if that makes sense. So like the couch or my desk or another desk. So like there's nowhere to put the tree other than I guess in the middle of the room. But yeah, it'll probably go up on the 24th. And Bulls win the Euro and the URC. Mic drop, says Christian. I mean, I don't quite have a mic to drop unless I drop this big one that I'm talking into. That would be a bit of fun, wouldn't it? It's going to be a penalty now for the Bulls, side entry. Way too early for the mic drop. And the URC Stormers, the Euro Bulls. Oh, that's bold. See, I would think that you're almost better off going the other way around, seeing as the Stormers are currently 10th in the URC. So they will have probably away field all the way through the competition, you see, whereas the Bulls could have home field advantage. So, yeah, be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, though, because, of course, there's always the talks about how do these South African teams match up against these European nations. It's going to be kicked towards the touchline now for the Bulls, though. They are ahead by 8 points. They are matching up quite nicely. My mum, Catherine, still thinks you do the best commentary. Well, thank you very much to your mum, Catherine. Hugely appreciated. George got a hat the other day. Do I show? Yeah, I'll show the hat. Why not? He wore it in a reaction video. It's a great hat. This is George's hat, I should mention. I have not worn this hat, but that's not directed at your mum, by the way. Cool story, bro. That's just because you said about your mum and it reminded me of the hat. I don't know what your mum looks like. And Bulls win the Currie Cup, URC and Champions Cup. Says Boopa and Amish, as long as you have the Christmas spirit, which is important, says Chloe there. Oh, ball popped out the side. Another penalty to the Bulls. Now, I think they might consider taking the 3 here. No way, Amish, says Mimania. And also no Christmas tree for us. We just decorate the tree outside and light up the neighborhood, says Spider-Man. And also no problem, says Cool Story, bro. Currently 6 minutes remaining in this first half, and the ill-discipline. Lyon are really struggling to stop the Bulls' momentum, and it does look like the Bulls are considering a tap and go here again. Oh, that is cute. That is George, says Chloe there. And the Lions, says Splash TV. So the Lions, they are in the Challenge Cup, if that is what you're asking about. Maybe. Looks like they will take on the 3 points now. Jordan Talfour just trying to fire up his team, saying, come on, boys. Stop ruining it, you know. We've got to build some momentum, boys. We have got their... do they have a match? So they did just recently play up against the Newcastle Falcons in the Challenge Cup. So not quite the same competition as this one. But I'm just loading it to see exactly what their score was. I believe they got the win, if I'm correct. Chris Smith, though, he has got that one over. And that'll now make the score 18 points to 7 in favour of the Bulls. Now the 11-point lead. The Lions won 35 points to 13 in their game up against Newcastle. Another the same, bro. And also we get their Spider. That is nice. But yeah, Cheetahs play the Sharks tomorrow at 2 a.m. New Zealand time. So that'll be 3 p.m. South African. Going to be kicked high from the Bulls inside of their 22. Goes back to Thaka Abrahams. He might have been hit late there, Zach Berger. Looks like he's holding his head. They may have to have a look back at this, depending on what happens next. Now Lyon going to be in the hands of Roman Taufifenua. He's got a knee down. They do have to release him. Now, normally they are only allowed to go back for 3 phases for the TMO, so be interested to see what happens here. Jordan Taufifenua, though, he has knocked that ball on. How will you celebrate Christmas? CS coding. I think we're just having lunch. So I think... yeah, lunch with the family. And then from there, I think later on in the evening, it's just here and other side of the family coming for a few drinks, I think. Oh, yeah, he came flying through. Zach Berger did not like it, and New Zealand clubs should be added to the URC and the Euros. Says Splash TV. I mean, they're looking at a Club World Cup at some point, so it could be something that they look at going forward. I know that we're going to see the Crusaders in a game up against Munster in the near future from the winner of the URC going head-to-head with the winner of Super Rugby. We have got there, Splash TV, no. Oh, there you go. Boopar does not like the idea. 4 minutes remaining in this first half, and it will be the scrum feed for the Bulls after repeated errors from Lyon throughout this first half. Talking about Paddy the Batty. How did they get onto Paddy Pimlet in the commentary scenario? They were talking about how he's back in the UFC. I know he's fighting Tony Ferguson a little bit later on in UFC. I think there's a lot of good fights on that card. Outside of the main card as well, though. I think there's, like, prelims-wise, you got Alonzo Menefield versus Dustin Jacoby. I think Garbrandt's fighting against Brian Kelleher, I think. Maybe. I'll have to Google that. Is his name Brian? It is Brian. There you go. And also we have got there, they will need to be based for the entire season in the +2 longitude time zone. Says Mimania, I should say. And Fijian teams will be a threat, says Splash TV. I mean, I love watching the Fijian drill play, and it would be unique to see them go up against some of these other sides in the Northern Hemisphere one day. Hi, Amish Bros, says Michelle. Welcome back, mate. And hi, guys, says 123MS. Welcome in as well. Currently, the Bulls doing very nicely. They've got themselves the 11-point lead going into halftime. Zach Berger has actually been taken off the field, so unfortunately he will not be returning, I wouldn't think, unless they might actually be able to get away with saying that he needs an HIA, so he might be able to return later in this game rather than just a straight injury. That might be quite strategic, the substitution of Berger there, but Chris Smith kicking it downfield to Thicke Abrahams. And he does get that one into touch. Would have liked a little bit more distance on it, I'm sure, but still has relieved some of the pressure that the Bulls have been able to create throughout this half of rugby. And I have a feeling that pressure will continue in the second half. Yeah, it looks like Zach Berger has been through a battle out there on the field. He had a knee injury. He had a head injury. I think he had a nose injury as well, which was separate to the head injury. So he certainly had a little while. Has Adeantia flop? I don't think so necessarily. It's just the fact that he hasn't really had a lot of game time. Like, we've got to remember, the man was gone for, 5 years or a little bit more than 5 years. So, like, there's going to be rust, of course, and there's going to be a bit of adjustment in terms of where he actually fits in to the side. Look at that, Hamish Pro Dunedin ODI. Just a few hours remaining against Bangladesh first ODI after World Cup. Really excited for New Zealand summer cricket. Says Michelle, beautifully done from Lyon to be able to clean that ball up inside of the 22. But I have plans of going to the Australia-New Zealand test match, Michelle, in March. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen. Most definitely lunch with the family, so important though I love going Christmas Eve to church, listening to the Christmas carols. Very touching, but awesome. Says Chloe. I think last year, me and a couple of the other Kiwi lads, we went Christmas light hunting in a random town that we don't live in. And it was a weird experience. We filmed the whole thing, but then the file, I think it was on a hard drive that corrupted. So that footage may never be seen, but it was actually some of the funniest stuff we've filmed. It's going to be the penalty advantage now for Lyon. Pass on the outside, down the wing, the power game. And he's got the try there. Pierre-Emmanuel Pacquiao does get over the line. Maybe the teams who don't make the playoffs play each or else. Too many games for seniors. Says 123MS. And also Black Lions represent themselves well so far in the Challenge Cup. Says Bupa. And also I see nothing new from Rugby Itch. Is he alive? He is alive. He is just very busy at the moment. He has started a new job in Hong Kong. He was also on holiday in Thailand more recently, so that is why you haven't seen him uploading too much overall. But anytime there's sevens, and also when Super Rugby comes back around, I believe the podcast is starting back up. We should have a URC and Euros for under 20s. Says Splash TV. Well, there kind of is the under 26 nation. So perhaps, as that competition grows, you got to make sure you're showing support to those comps though, so that people who are up in charge and can make those decisions go, okay, the under 20s comp is doing well. Let's incorporate a competition into it. Because, the numbers, if the numbers don't lie, they'll do it. But because people don't really watch the under 26 nations outside of some of those European teams, they won't look to add more kind of games for those teams. Trans-Tasman Series, of course, South African teams also played at 2 tests and months of March. Action-packed cricket for New Zealand, says Vishal there. That kick has missed away to the side, so that will now make the score I believe at halftime, it is going to be 18 points to 12. So only 6 points difference between the two sides. And thoughts on South African teams joining the URC and the Euro? Says Christian, it was eventually going to happen. Like, at the end of the day, like, they are going to make a lot more money going north than they would have sticking with Super Rugby, definitely because you've got multiple competitions that you can generate the revenue from, same time zone, so it works in perfectly in that regard. And it's just something different, isn't it? You're getting a few new sides. Where's George Hamish retired? No, he's not retired. He's just been very busy working at the moment, so we haven't really been able to have him on too many of the streams. I did offer him a spot sitting next to me for the 2 a.m. live stream tonight, or today, the one with Lado Show and the Stores. He was like, no, I'm all right, because it's 2 a.m. I think South African teams are doing better in the URC. So here's 1, 2, 3 MS. And yeah, the Bulls will need to wake up, and Bulls should have defended better, says Bupa. Why is the Rugby Championship not happening next year? Says Bupa. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have no idea. But, yeah. I don't know. This is a simple answer. Trans Tasman series. Oh no, I read that one. And cool, thank you. Says Robert, and Bulls going to sleep. Another sneeze. Tell you what, these early morning live streams, you just sneeze the whole time. Well, not quite the whole time, just at least once a half seems to be the magic number. But currently halftime in this contest, we're seeing 2 tries scored by the Bulls. Zach Berger being able to score himself 1, and Sergio Peterson managing to score the others. And then there was the try for Lyon being scored by, it was Peccio and also Dumatier, the other try scorers in this matchup. There was another game taking place at the moment. I've just had that realization. It was Powell versus the Dragons. Currently, it looks like Powell have just scored a last-minute try in that first half to make the score 14 points to 11 in their favour. So they are taking the lead going into that second half. One moment. We are going to sneeze again, ladies and gents. I will mute myself very briefly. We are good. Doubled up. I'm blessing Hamish. Says Chloe, and do you think that the win for the Stormers against La Rochelle will give the Stormers a feeling of winning again? Probably, honestly, my first reaction was going to be probably not, because they'll end up in that scenario of they'll know that they needed to do more, if that makes sense, because they had like 15 handling errors, something along those lines, which is just not what you want in a game of rugby. And Coffee Time says Spider-Mick and also bottom 4 CC teams or Champions Cup teams need international comp, which is URC Division 2, MLR or Super Rugby. Says 123 MS. Although they do have the 5th place team from each of the groups actually goes through to the Challenge Cup last round of 16. We have got Tony in the chat. Hamish, Merry Christmas, I do. You sneezy boy. Thank you very much, Tony. Merry Christmas to you too. I actually have, it's going to be in a reaction video, but I might as well show you. I got a new hat. It's quite fancy. You know, it's one of those, eh? Isn't that a bit of fun? I don't think I'll wear it out of the house, I'll be honest, but Merry Christmas to you too, Tony. Hope you do have a nice time. Is Auckland the most expensive place to live in New Zealand, Tony? I was asked that earlier on, and I feel like because you're up north more, you'll probably have a better idea than me. Hamish, you still need to get that thirst. And I was like, well, nice Hamish process for Shell. And I was like, oh, the Curry Cup. Sorry, I thought Champions Cup. And also, the all PS3s have blown out due to power surges. Now, Ramaphosa has announced or has allowed PS4s in South Africa. Are there any good rugby games on PS4? It depends on what you like, really. Because, Rugby Challenge is alright. But it depends on what you like, you know, like Rugby Challenge I would take over Rugby 22, but then saying that Rugby 22 at times isn't that bad either, depending on what you like. Hamish, I'll wear it outside for sure, says Mimania. Although probably not in the heat that we're supposed to have soon. It's supposed to be quite warm here, I think today and tomorrow. It's already like 14 degrees and it's only 7:20 a.m. here in New Zealand. And also, Hamish Pro Santa, Get up, do it for one stream, says Michelle. And great hat. Yep, Auckland is up there. Queenstown is bloody pricey too. Housing-wise up here, you can't get much for less than $1 million, says Distracted Sports. Yeah. Like, in terms of housing in Auckland compared to, like, some small town, like, you probably buy about 3 houses in a small town compared to the price of one in Auckland or anywhere like that. But, yeah, Queenstown's up there, isn't it? And Hamish, I think you are brave enough to wah. Brave enough to wah. Cheers, I think. There's also another one here, but I'm not going to show yous, mainly because I wear it in an upcoming video on the Kiwi Lads Entertainment channel with me and George. So I'm going to keep it as a bit of a secret, but it's an even bigger Christmas thing. I'm brave enough to wear. Now, I don't think I'll wear it to the supermarket. You know, I think it would be more of a Christmas lunch type arrangement, maybe. Nasbota was greatest fly halves ever, says Margaret. And I was like, yo, says Yvonne, welcome in. I hope you are doing extremely well. Currently half-time, 6 points difference between these two sides. The Bulls leading Lyon, which I think was a little bit of something that not many people did expect. Been watching a Leinster game, says Yvonne. Of course, Leinster are playing as well, aren't they? There is actually 3 games, I think, that are taking place at the moment. Because Pau are playing up against the Dragons. And that is in the Challenge Cup. And then alongside that, Leinster are playing in their game up against, it was the Sale Sharks, wasn't it? Sale Sharks are leading. They were, what? Sale Sharks were $11 underdogs. I'm just looking at it here. Yeah, $11 underdogs for the Sale Sharks. I was sure that they were really, really not supposed to win their game. Oh, they are. Challenge Cup, they are. Says Yvonne, a wonderful sense of humour. My F, or my Hamish. And I noticed, says Yvonne, and also Hamish bro, at children time. Hamish bro, at children time, your special memories at Christmas Day, please share with us. I always enjoy Christmas crackers, I'll be honest, but I can't really think of too many Christmases, mainly because it's like I've been up for quite a few hours, so I think that might be affecting the brain a bit. I once got a pack of markers and I think I like held on to them for like a full week without letting them go, but Christmas, eh? I have a terrible memory now. I swear, like, after the World Cup, all my brain cells went into that competition and now I don't remember a single thing, which is like not good, but it's alright. Leinster lacking leadership, says Yvonne. Yeah, it's surprising that the Sale Sharks are in the lead for that game, even with the lack of Leinster leadership. But these two sides very close at the moment. And Leinster and La Rochelle might not make it out of the group, says 123MS. Nice work keeping track of all the rugby. I'm on my annual Kiwi rugby diet. Haven't watched the games since the final, says Distracted Sports. Well, Tony, if you're keen, at some stage, me and Tim, we got the podcast still running every once in a while. So if you want to pop on for an episode at some stage, let me know and we'll make it happen. Great commentary, says Margaret. Thank you very much. Long vacation at some fun with family members. Oh, actually, no, now that you've said that, I went to Melbourne for Christmas like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. I don't know how I forgot that. I feel like I just needed certain keywords in there. Did La Rochelle lose? They did by 1 point. Like, yeah, it was a close game. I do some videos. Tony, says Yvonne. And boy, I lol, I pull a lol, okay, says Michael. And La Rochelle, she lose, yes. And no memories of 1995, gets you we're about 2. I'm not that old. I would have been like -4 in 1995, which doesn't actually work. But, yeah, I wasn't quite alive at that stage. Yeah, a couple of close games in the Champions Cup at the moment between Leinster and Sale Sharks, as well as the Bulls versus Lyon. Question is, what will happen in the second half of the 2 games? Yes, I think we all love the Christmas crackers, says Chloe there. Yeah, second half. I can hear cricket taking place. They've currently got the cricket highlights of Australia versus Bangladesh. No, sorry, Australia versus Afghanistan. Of course, Australia playing Pakistan at the moment. And, oh yeah, that was Maxwell's double century, wasn't it? 200 of 128 balls. And while you're young, at least you remember VHS. I do, yeah. I used to have a few things on VHS. Pingu, that used to be a great show. That's kind of made a comeback. A lot of people doing the old nert. Brum, I think I had that on VHS. Mr. Bean used to slap, and it still does. We went to a place in Timaru. Anyone wondering, it's halftime, which is why we're talking about a whole heap of random stuff. But we went to a place in Timaru, and they had Mr. Bean on the screen while you waited for your food to be cooked. So it was fantastic. You know? Could have been worse. There might be a few more changes being made in the second half. It was your birthday, I think, on the 2nd. Did you get your birthday wish, Hamish? Says Chloe. I mean, there was rugby on pretty much completely throughout the birthday. So I kind of delayed my birthday by a couple weeks because there was just too much sevens on. And pretty much all throughout the night, I'll be doing streams, and then all throughout the day, I'll be sleeping. So yeah, I haven't really had my birthday yet, but that's all right. Christmas is a thing. Ain't sure, buddy. I have zero current knowledge right now. I'm not sure what value I'd bring. Or I think it's not so much about current affairs. It's more about, like, you, I think. I think Tim said it was going to be about kind of learning about the guests. You probably get asked about the World Cup because Tim supports the Springboks. So, of course, he'd want to poke the bear. Say, hey, Tony, what did you think of the All Blacks losing, huh? But you just tell him to F off, won't you? And rugby is the most beautiful game it is. I commented on the Kiwi lads, says Chloe. And there as well. But second half just around the corner, ladies and gents. Can the Bulls continue this momentum? Or will Lyon be able to find that comeback like the favourites that they are supposed to be? I feel like that is something that's been so confusing, is the fact that they just haven't been able to fire. They've had a lot of knock-ons, a lot of little mistakes being made. And then quite a few penalties against them in the breakdown. They've tried to counteract quite a few times, and it's actually looked pretty strong in that regard. Jordan Taufua, a little bit more of him in the second half wouldn't be a bad thing. Janko Swanepoel, though, for the Bulls, I think was sensational throughout that first half. And also Gumedi did very nicely, including that assist to Sergio Peterson, who scored the second try of the match for the Bulls. There are 3 games taking place tomorrow. And also actually 2 games taking place at an hour and 30 minutes, although we aren't covering either of those 90-minute ones that are around the corner. We are hoping to cover Harlequins versus Toulouse. There's a game that does kick off at 4:15 a.m. New Zealand time tomorrow morning. So we are going to be covering that hopefully right when it starts. Supposed to be a relatively close game. Same with Munster Exeter. It starts at 2 a.m., although I don't think we'll be covering that one, unfortunately. But we'll certainly be keeping an eye on it, at least find out who's getting the win. Currently got an ad for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I wonder, would you guys be disappointed if I said that I've never watched any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, not a single episode or anything along those lines? I know they like pizza, so I can relate to them. I don't have a shell, so I can't relate in that regard, but I enjoy a bit of pizza every once in a while. I feel like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles might have been just before my time in terms of when it was really popping off. Hamish is young and fresh like myself, says Chloe, and just follow along with what Mark says, Tony, says Yvonne. And only 80s Ninja Turtles count, says Cool Story. Yeah, see, that's a little bit before me. I feel like there's remakes and whatnot, isn't there? I watched a handful of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, says Mimania. Oh, looks like the Bulls have made their way back out onto the field. Looks like Zach Berger. I think he's going to be continuing this match. Now, I actually mentioned about him, how I said that they can get strategic. And even though he wasn't concussed, and they knew he wasn't concussed, because he had taken a head knock, they took him off the field for his HIA so that he was able to get the strapping on the knee and rest up a little bit before coming back out onto the field for the second half, where he's now cleared of his HIA so that he can now go back into the action. Now, hopefully they've strapped him well and he does not end up with any more sorts of injuries. Looks like quite a steep tunnel at Lyon for the players to go down. Certainly good on the calves. You're trying to march down that tunnel. Romain Taufafanua, the big man. He hasn't really had a huge amount of involvement in this game other than when he almost scored a try earlier on then did end up getting just held up. This next 40 minutes is going to be important for both of these sides in terms of their Champions Cup campaign. The Bulls can move up to second if they win this contest, and if the Lyon side can win this by 8 points, they can cut out the Bulls' bonus point, then they will actually manage to move up to second place ahead of the Bulls as well. Marcel Kutsia just having a bit of a chat there with the referee, making sure they know exactly what he wants them to penalise the other team for. Jake White watching on. All he needs is a red and white hat and red and white scarf, and he would literally look like Where's Wally? Just the design of the hat. And also I watched Debbie Does Dallas. I have never seen Debbie Does Dallas. And it's going to be kicked downfield, no way, says Miminia, but now Lyon, only 2 metres out from their try line. Oh, sorry, 20 metres out. Zach Berger back onto the field for Funderlinde. Now it's available. The Bulls will be hoping to start the second half just like they did the first, which was actually a charge down from Zach Berger. Can he do it again? No, he cannot. It's been kicked downfield into touch. Decent clearance. Devon Williams not able to get it back in. I'll see Lyon, they did start slowly in this contest, but as it's worn on a little bit more, they've started to find their feet. Although the Bulls are normally known for their brilliant second half play, and they really put teams into deep water. That one is thrown deep over the top there for the Bulls, and now into the rolling maul on the halfway line. Hanging on to this one's Jan Henrik Vessels. Liam Coltman eyeing him up round the side of the maul, tried to get the hand on it. Zach Berger going back across now. Good attack and run from Harold Foster to the left. Zach Berger gets it off to Janko Swanepoel, who was one of the standouts for the Bulls throughout that first 40 minutes. We have got there, Hamish. It certainly was wonderful to meet you and all these wonderful people I really had, and we'll carry on enjoying these games. Thank you, says Chloe. No worries at all. We always say about how these live streams wouldn't be the same without you guys in the chat, so it is greatly appreciated you all being here. It's going to be put high. Thick Abrahams doesn't take it clean. It's pumped up to now Harold for. Oh, that's a bad clothesline. Very high. It's just going to be the penalty. The Bulls, they could take the 3 and get outside of 9. Now Marcel Kurtzia asking, saying it would have been probably a penalty try, wouldn't it, ref? Mike Adamson says he got him high, but it wouldn't have been a try. They are taking on the 3 points, though. Yeah, that was high from Martin Pagerello. Harold Foster. Brilliant runner of the ball. He does look like he's a little bit knocked from taking the shot to the chin. Now, second half. Chris Smith, easiest kick of the day. Well, he's missed one straight out in front, though. Got that one over, though. And that will now make the score 21 points to 12. And okay, going back to Leinster, fingers crossed, they pull themselves together? Well, that's the thing. Do let me know how the end goes, because I'll probably try and keep an eye on it. But, yeah, if Leinster get back into the league, do let me know. Because they should. At the end of the day, Sale Sharks, they were huge underdogs, like I said. And thanks again, Robert. Says Chloe there, but now 3 minutes into the second half, already their lead has been extended by that little bit, and that is exactly what the Bulls need here. Keep that momentum flowing. Whoops. Kick downfield from the Bulls. Fletcher Smith goes across here to Jordan Telford. That's the first run we've seen from him, but he gives it off to Thicker Abrahams, who now tries to take contact, and he is driven down by Mako van Staden. Gives him a bit of a hump on the ground. Out, still available there for Lyon. Fletcher Smith running backwards, running out of space, trying to stay extremely low as you have to up against these Bulls players, because they can just get underneath your arms and just hold you up there. Now Talfafanua again, that time being Sebastian Talfafanua. Kicked him behind now for Pagerello. It's the Devil Williams bonus point. Let's go, says Denzel. That one is going to be put into touch and good for the second half start. Yeah, Jordan Taufua. I feel like we've seen a lack of running from the forwards of Lyon in this game. We've seen a lot of Janko Swanepoel. We've seen Marcel Kutsia with the ball in hand, Gumeri, Van Staren. But in terms of players that we've actually seen run the ball, like I don't think we've seen Liam Coltman run the ball. Futuaka's had one run maybe. We've seen a bit of Taufa Fanua, but yeah, Taufua, no runs really in this game. What did I miss? So an early 3 points in the second half for the Bulls there, but they've currently got the 2 tries. A nice run forward again. To the left for Lyon, who are currently 40 metres out from the line. A big run for Jordan Taufua. Going off to the right-hand side now, Fletcher Smith. Quick hands, although not a lot of space to be able to work with. Out on the wing, De Mortier gets the offload on the inside to Taufua. Now Fletcher Smith, looping play here for Lyon, and great driving tackle mate on the ground. Now back across to the left, Fletcher Smith. One more to Thacker Abrahams. He's gone straight through the South African fullback. Sliding to within 10 metres of the line. That was a brilliant run from him, and it's created the chance now for Lyon to counter. Back across, Fletcher Smith in behind. All they need is the pass out wide. Pin in the ears back, and he goes through and scores the try. Alfred Parisian does score, and just like that, Thacker Abrahams up against a fellow South African side cuts him open and helps Lyon get back into this contest. This is going to be a seesaw. I can tell already. Oh, his foot was close to the touchline there. The Mortier touched the ball about 3 or 4 times throughout that play. Then Kyle Goldwyn was actually almost going for the skip pass, but Thacker Abrahams jumps up and takes it. Decides against going to Monty Ioane and instead takes the contact himself. Just accelerates straight through Henry Immelman's tackle. Just ended up going the complete wrong way. The finish is good. Zach Berger tried to drive him towards the touchline, but it did not work. It's a harder game than I thought, says Cool Story Bro. Well, that's the thing. Lyon, when they get it right, are very hard to stop. But they haven't really got it right in this game as of yet. We've seen them get it right in moments. Same could be said about the Bulls. When they're on attack and they've really started finding that momentum, they are very hard to stop from getting over the chalk. Kyle Goldwyn actually involved twice there. In terms of he was the one who passed it to Thacker Abrahams, and then he was involved in the last pass, getting it across to the man on his outside, Alfred Parisian. Only 47 minutes gone in this one. The kick has missed, I should have mentioned, so still 4 points between these two sides. These days, most teams have South African players in the teams, so we are hated, says Margaret. Well, it depends on who you talk to for if they hate South African sides. But like you said, there's a lot of South Africans playing in all the competitions around the world. So, like, most of the cases, like, whoever their favourite team is will have at least one South African in it. Watched the NFL for the first time. I wasn't impressed, says Denzel. To be honest, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's similar to baseball, similar to hockey, basketball, how some people will love it, some people just don't really like it that much. We have got the Hamish Rowe New Zealand winter day. Please lower temperature at night currently in the moment and morning too. Says it was there from Vishal. So currently it's 17 degrees Celsius apparently here in New Zealand. We're only at 8 a.m. So I'll be honest, it's quite warm for a day. And also this European sides are Barbarian sides, says Quinton. But now, a little bit of a counter-ruck there from Lyon. They don't get the ball out of there though, Zach Berger. Now going back across to Chris Smith, Mornay Smith. I think that's almost his first run that we've seen of the day. Now Berger, back to Chris Smith. Little grubber attempted a mine from Harold Foster. Thacker Abrahams, very close to a knock on. Referee says play on though. I think they're just saying that Lyon are causing disruption on the ground. That is then causing the Bulls to just end up a little bit hesitant anytime they try and use it. It is kicked downfield and it has managed to find touch about 35 metres out from Lyon's line, the Bulls. They need 2 more tries to be able to receive that bonus point, win or lose. So that'll be exactly what they are after. Lyon, they need 1 more try to get the bonus point. It could be crucial. Going near the end of the contest and the end of the competition, you want as many points as physically possible. The World Cup was closest ever. Any top team could have won. The champs deserved it, says Margaret. And also, yes, games change so quick, says Chloe. And that is the beauty of the Champions Cup, is there's so many unknowns about these sides in terms of how they will match up stylistically. These are dream matches that have never happened before. And for them to both be going head-to-head in the Champions Cup with so much on the line, it is pretty awesome. Now Harold Foster goes to Chris Smith, quick hands to Sergio Peterson, gets it out wide now for Immelman. 22 metres from the line, Lyon get the penalty. And at the moment, the Bulls are just missing that first clean out in the breakdown, and it is causing them to not have the ball a lot. Kyle Godwin again. Oh, sorry, Goodwin. No, it is Godwin, sorry. Once again, manages to get that steal. And come on, the Bulls, says Bupar. And another 1-point game, says Denzel. In pounds and euros, Barbarians, says Mimania. That's the thing. With so many close games, it means all it takes is 1 penalty, all it takes is 1 opportunity, and you can win a contest. So you cannot take your foot off the gas at any stage throughout these Champions Cup games. True words, Hamish, says Chloe van Rooyen. Now 30 minutes remaining on the clock. And it looks like now Lyon have decided to empty their bench. Making a lot of changes here. It's going to be Jordan Talfo off the field for Arno Bortia, ex-Bulls man. Baptiste Kuyu has made his way onto the field. He is actually a very handy halfback. Dupont, when he was injured, Kuyu came in, really did pretty well. Does anyone watch the MLR? Not as much as I should, which I feel kind of bad about. Fletcher Smith taken off the field. That is going to be for, I think it's Paddy Jackson, who is now out there. Yes, it is. That's probably a good choice, because I know I've been harsh on Fletcher Smith most of this game, but he just hasn't performed. Should also mention that Dylan Smith onto the field now for the Bulls. And driven towards the touchline, but keeping this ball in the field of play was Liam Coleman. Now flat pass there. Baptiste Kuyu waiting for this ball to become available. That's actually going to be a bit of a mistake in the breakdown there. So it means that the Bulls have got this ball back. Going to the left-hand side, Chris Smith in behind to Devon Williams. Sergio Peterson, think he was about a metre in front of him, but he has kicked it into touch anyway. And better hurry if you want to watch the MLR. Says Gus, yeah, they're almost at the end of the comp, aren't they? Is Zach Berger back in? Says Booper, he is. So he pretty much, he went off, like he had a sore knee in the first half, took a slight knock next, or he kind of got one on the neck or the chin type thing. He was fine, but he went off for an HIA so that they could take him off, strap him all up and get him all prepared for the second half to then bring him back out after he had passed his HIA. So it was strategic, but it works. Like, it's within the rules that because he took a head knock, they can check him out, make sure he's going to be all right, and it gave him a break and made sure that he didn't end up hurting his knee before they could get it actually properly strapped. So, you know, it's fair play, really. Sergio Peterson almost able to get that ball in the field of play, but just comes off the side. Now it is going to be the Bulls. At the end of the day, it does not matter who wins. It just must be fair, says Margaret. Now Jan Hendrik Vessels to throw this ball in again for the Bulls. Nicely claimed by Marcel Kurtzia. Zach Berger going across to Harold Foster to Lionel Mapo. No 4 teams have gone out of business in the off-season, says Gus. And as we have got there, we need a try. Oh yeah, true. There's like Toronto, I think, are now out, aren't they? So it's a shame that they haven't been able to market it in a way that actually has opportunity for them. That's a nice steal. The ball is taken back here by Paddy Jackson. And we need a try so we can get the rhythm again. Now Lyon in possession. Big bump off there. Little bit isolated. Kyle Godwin running at the ball. Drop goal, please, says Denzel. Although a drop goal doesn't benefit anyone too much. Although, I guess for the Bulls, it puts them to 7 ahead. But I don't think they'll consider that. Instead, they will want to try and get as many points as possible. A little kick in behind. Going to be pushing a player over. It's the Mortier who's just being ruthless at the moment. Trying to get all the players out of his face. The Bulls now back in possession. Nice bit of work there. Running forward for Mtunu. Now back to the left-hand side. Devon Williams with the cross kick straight to Peterson. And this is where he's so dangerous, although he's just given the ball away to Lyon. The referee says there's a forward pass in there. It's going to be the scrum now for the Bulls. I think Peterson thought that he had someone else next to it. Come on, the Bulls. See them or show them what you're made of, says Ronaldo there. And yeah, still plenty of time left on the clock, but a 4-point lead could be enough. At the end of the day, we've seen some close games of the Champions Cup. Although, I should also mention that the lead of a few points is what La Rochelle had for themselves. In fact, they were leading by 6, and then in the final moments, they ended up losing that game. So, you've got to make sure that if you've got a lead, you can really extend it so that there is more chance of you getting over the line. Yeah, a lot of aggression in the breakdowns currently from Lyon. Whereas the Bulls, normally they are known for how quickly and how proficiently they get into their breakdowns, but they haven't really done that throughout this game. They've found that the forwards are more used as runners rather than protectors of the ball. The Bulls will take the win, says Ronaldo. Do you have anyone as a prediction of who else you think will score in this game, Ronaldo? Or do you think this will be all the points that we see in the contest? Do let me know. Now Zach Berger going across to the right-hand side, 100% says Roland. Berger to the left-hand side. Nicely claimed there by Dylan Smith. Berger gets it off to Marcel Kurtzi. I hope so, says Chloe. Lyon trying to go for that counter-ruck again. Zach Berger, a little bit of a sniping run around the side of the breakdown. Almost a turnover there. Swanepoel, great hands on him. The amount of pressure that was around the side of the breakdown. Harold Foster once again will go for that cheeky kick in behind, and it's worked well. Has found the touchline. I always say top rugby is won by kicks more than tries, says Denzel. And Harold Foster, he's been given that role of the kick in behind, try and make it awkward for Lyon, and also just put their line out under more pressure. Currently 56 minutes through now. Looks like Ray has made his way onto the field. That is for Sebastian Taufafanua. I don't think they'll be too far off taking Liam Coltman off the field either for Lyon. They have still got decent option off their bench. And Charcoset, I believe is roughly how you say it. I'll probably mispronounce it quite badly. Arno Borta now running at his Bulls teammates. I prefer Johan Goosen over Chris Smith. I think Johan Goosen, he offers more X factor, doesn't he, in terms of the way that he runs the ball, rather than Chris Smith's also very territory. You know, he'll kick that ball well. He'll give you probably about a 9 out of 10 kicks over. But, yeah, Johan Goosen with that running can just change a game. Speaking of running, Devon Williams having a nice run in behind. Now having to clean this one up at the back for Lyon. They're close to that touchline there. And it's stolen in the breakdown by the Bulls, but they've said he had his hands down first. So it is now going to be the penalty to Lyon. They must go for the try. And also, the Bulls will score here, give them time, says Ronaldo. And also, the Bulls will go out for a try or a drop kick, says Chloe. There as well. Anyone remember Bram van Straten? I don't. For some reason, when you said that name, I thought of that Dutch MMA guy. I don't think that's him, though. Yeah, just through the side. Chance the game Bulls, or change the game Bulls, says Ronaldo. Now Liam Coleman, another line out straight and consistent, although, that's a hard landing for the number 4. He's been taken out in the air. They closed the gap, says the referee. It's Bulls in Lyon's 22. They were till they gave away the penalty, and now they've given away another one. So slowly, Lyon are actually marching their way up the field. They're at the halfway line currently, and now they'll be able to kick it down towards the Bulls 22. Devon's Williams is a player, comes from my hometown, one of my heroes. There's Roland, and he's doing extremely well on Bulls debut for this game. Africa Data is killing my experience. And yes, my mate, he played for the Bulls. Says Cluin. There we go. The change now being made. Coltman off the field. Also, Romain Taufafanua, another player they have decided to take off, but they are now only 10 metres out from the Bulls line. Pretty much ditched all of the big experienced players from the starting side now. Now going for the rolling move here, Lyon. Well defended by the Bulls. They have already been told to use it once. The ball is there at the back for Baptiste Couillou trying to break off the short side. Got a bit of work and the breakdown by the Bulls. They win the penalty and boy, is Guamedi hyped. Just making the wrong decision there. Deciding to go off the back with their 2, or in fact their number 16. The only man to help with the clean out was the halfback, and he was not moving Guamedi when he's locked over the Bulls. Bulls on top, says Roland, and also we will take the ball now, says Ronaldo, and they certainly did. Guamedi just gets his hands on the ball, and he was not giving it up once he had one hand on it. Now kick downfield. Currently the Bulls, like I mentioned, they did come into this game as underdogs. They are showing that maybe they should have been favourites, and they might be next time. Come on, Bulls need 2 tries, and come on, Bulls, that's nice, says Ronaldo. Of course, getting the 2 tries would give them the bonus point for 4 or more tries. Even just getting the win at this point, though, would be a massive one for them. They can shut down the chance of a Lyon bonus point for being within 7. Oh, he's gone into that very high up. Marco van Staden, luckily, has come out of it unscathed. And your Bulls need 2 or 3 more tries. My Super Bowl prediction is the Bulls by 15, says Roland. And it does look like Marco van Staden's taking a little bit longer to get back to his feet, and that is because of the heavy contact that he received. And they will go upstairs to have a look at it. I feel like a little bit of a disappointing play there from Lyon. They are going to be playing on just for now until they check that foul play. But for now, it is going to be in the hands of Lyon. And always more a scrum kick, good kicker, solid player, not too fast. Forgot he played for the Bulls. Says, cool story, bro. Jake White needs silverware and Bulls will take a bonus, says Ronaldo. So that kick is into touch by Chris Smith. And now I believe they'll go upstairs to check the shot on Marco van Staden. Now, my first initial reaction was way too high from Pacquiao, because he went into it. Oh, they're saying direct head on head. I don't know. I feel like from that angle, it almost looked like shoulder shoulder. Yeah, it's to the side. It's still too high. So it will probably be a penalty to the Bulls, but I'd be pretty disappointed if it's anything more than a penalty here. A very territorial player, Chris Smith, says Roland. Yeah. So yeah, you've got Johan Goosen, who's probably going to offer you a lot more on attack, but Chris Smith, who's going to be your tried and trusty for if they do need to go around and just kind of play a pretty clean game of rugby, if that makes sense. Makes Sir Smith, says Ronaldo. Yeah, I don't see that as more of anything than a penalty, to be honest. I think the benefit is the fact that the head did go to the side. Come on, the Bulls. And also, as long as we stick to discipline, then a win, says Chloe. So they're trying to say that maybe the ear made contact with Marco van Staden's ear. Yeah, they've said, oh, okay, this is interesting. They've actually said it's just play on. Now, that's an interesting one, because earlier on in the game, I think we had one that was actually called back as a penalty, but it was relatively similar to that for Fial Fotuaika. But the TMO have said it is fine. So it is going to be play on now. Baptiste Couillou gets it across to the explosive winger Dumitier. Now 20 metres out at the moment from the goal line. Oh, it's a big knock on there. And Bulls will win this one, says Alicia. Hopefully I said that correctly. Go like this. And we will go like that as well. But now, counter-attack here for Lyon. They've had a lot more possession in the second 20 minutes or so of the half. Now, Kuyu, no, he's off his feet. Almost gave away the penalty there. Lyon Olympique, he's actually done very well to not do so. Oh, Monty Ioane, he's been tackled. I think that was almost a rock bottom on him. If anyone knows their WWE. Johan Goosen sounds like a name of a player in 2005. It was the time of Goosen's back in the day. Well, he is quite old, Johan Goosen, like in a non-disrespectful way. I think he probably was. How old would he have been back then? He would have been playing rugby in 2005. He's born 1992. So he's 31 years of age, which means in 2005, how old would he have? He would have been 13. So not quite playing professional, but he was probably playing some sort of under 14 rugby comp or something, maybe, if he's lucky. But yeah, he's 31 years old. And nice ball, says Ronaldo. Now thrown to the front. Nice bit of work for Lyon. Offloaded. And it will be the try now. They've struck while the iron is hot. Chachosser, the man who has scored the try. I suck at French. I think that's one language that I will never get right. But we will try our best, of course. Don't ask me to repeat that name. I've already forgotten it. He's a good player. Playmaking is insane, says Roland. And there are nice balls, says Ronaldo. And oof. And damn, you have up all morning. Time zones are crazy, says Denzel. Yeah, they're weird hours, I'll be honest. Like, we're currently 8 a.m. and I've been up for quite a few hours. And then tomorrow night, I think we're going to be doing an all-nighter as well. We're going to Bulls win this one. And next week in Cape Town, win the Stormers, says Alessia. And there as well. But now Lyon have taken the lead. Paddy Jackson to line up this kick. And what does that do to the odds? It actually puts the Bulls as slight underdogs now. And their contest, I think Leinster must be coming right because they are now considered heavy favourites in their game up against Sale Sharks. Yeah, they're leading 23 points to 13, but Paddy Jackson, he's got that kick over, and that'll make the score 23 points to 21. We'll give the Stormers a good run for their money, says Roland. Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome game when we see the Bulls go head-to-head with the Stormers. Now that I think about it, I don't think that's that far away, is it, from taking place? I think it's next week. Yeah, it is. Stormers versus Bulls for the URC in Cape Town. That is going to be an epic game. We are covering it on the channel as well, I should mention, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in the game, says Ronaldo. That's the thing. They're still not out of the game. 16 and a half minutes remaining and 3 points difference. Like, that is more than enough time for them to be able to make an impact. Nice run from Thika Abrahams, currently inside of his own 22. We need Kirtley and Kanan, though. That is going to be another penalty to the Bulls. So now they've got the opportunity of taking 3 and getting this game back to 24-24. So another option. Also, Billy LaRue, another probably decent option role in that they could have. Like, yes, Devin Williams is doing very well at 15, but either having Billy LaRue in the starting lineup or off the bench could be quite handy, I would say. Oh, here we go. The Bulls have decided to kick for the corner here, taking the risk. Now, this will either work in their favour and they will be rewarded with a lead, or they will regret not taking on the 3 points. And Line Out Bulls says, Alessia. And let's take the 3 Bulls and take the 3. And Villy is secretly hated it. Oh, it's no secret. I know a lot of people don't like Billy LaRue. Messed up the line out there, the Bulls. And because of it now, they have pretty much blown that opportunity of getting the easy 3 points. And it's a brilliant kick downfield from Paddy Jackson to be about 41 metres out from the line now for this Bulls side. So yeah, making a little bit of a silly error by not taking that opportunity to get the extra 3. Should have been 3 every day. Now 15 minutes remaining. Looks like more subs are about to be made. Kyle Godwin now going off the field. That is for Rigard. Well, we will go like this and like that as well. There we go. Who's the Bulls captain? It is Marcel Kutzia. And Johan Goosen wouldn't have missed, says Roland. Although they didn't even miss, they just didn't go for the posts. They decided to kick for the corner and then the line out went wrong. And Marius Goosen was the guy on my mind. Good times, Super 12 days. And also we have got there who? Willie LaRue. I know what that other part says, so I won't say it. And also, not now, Bulls, come on. We need to bag this. Nicely claimed, though, for them. 40 metres out from Lyon's line. I think that's going to be a penalty. Yes, it is, or at least an advantage. Now do they make the right decision of going for the 3 points if you're the Bulls? Looks like they want to take it quickly. Number 19 was collapsing. Okay, says Miminia. And also, why did Marcel take the choice or make the choice to go for touch? It's a great question. But he's decided to do it again. That's 2 in a row now, theoretically, that the Bulls could have had 3 points. But it's a great kick from Chris Smith. They're 5 metres out. If it pays off, it'll work well. I've got a major headache, says Denzel. That is not good news. Be sure to drink plenty of water. That helps. Even though it doesn't feel like it helps at the time, it will help you in the long run if you're hydrated. And Bulls, go for it, guys. You're the best. We need this, says Roland, now 5 metres out from the line. Jan Hendrik Vessels. Can he get this one right? Has gone straight to Swanepoel this time. And now they are rolling forward. Well defended by Lyon. Although the Bulls now pick up a little bit of steam. Couple metres. They've gone down short of the line here. It's going to be the penalty advantage, though. Now it's available. Marcel Coetzee, the captain, gets over, but he does get forced back into the field of play. The referee saying no. Now Van Staden landing awkwardly on his neck as he's dragged down a metre from the line. They are still playing under their penalty advantage. Foster's knocked the ball on and they'll go back for the penalty again. A headache could be from bad posture. Says Cool Story Bro, maybe they want 7 points then 3. Maybe, but if the points are there, you've got to start taking them because they all add up. And the Bulls haven't been willing to take those 3s in the second half, instead wanting to push the tempo and try and get themselves one last chance. They are 5 metres out from the line once again here. Looks like they will opt for the quick tap rather than the line out. Marcel Coetzee takes the quick tap. He's going to be turned to his back 2 metres from the line. Going to the short side now. He's got it down. And that will be a try for the Bulls. They have managed to get over the try line. And that will give them the lead. And I guess because of it, it does force Lyon to have to go for another try themselves. So the risk has been rewarded after repeated chances. The Bulls go in. And it's Marco van Staden who's driven sideways and over the line. And yes, quick tap is better, yes, the Bulls. And Rian has said, yes, boys. And also, hey, great, says Cool. And pressure also adds the headache, says Chloe. And yes, sir, and yes, one more. Says 1, 2, 3, a bit. The tackle. Still 12 minutes remaining. So the Bulls have got more than enough time to be able to get themselves that bonus point. Lyon currently do have 1 for being within 7. And right choice, captain, says Alessia. In this case, it does work out for Marcel Coetzee. Just looking through who they've got on their team, who they've had off the bench. I feel like that bench has made a bit of an impact, and maybe that's changed the decision. Oh, the kick's gone over from Chris Smith. He does a little fist pump as he knows now that takes them out to the margin that they needed to be able to really make that try worth it. Rather than being ahead by 2, they find themselves ahead by 4. And Lyon, Bulls have pretty much said to them, if you want to beat us, you have to get your bonus point try. See if it works. Chris Smith must convert this kick expeditiously. Or expeditiously. There you go. And thanks, Irish. You sure swallowed me in. And I was like, go, boys, go. And I was like, maybe after today, the Froggies will realise the Rugby World Cup was no fluke. I mean, it's all well and good getting confident now, but, you know, the game's not over yet. We got to remember, Lyon were just in the lead, like 2 minutes ago, you know, so it's how quickly it can change back to back. Now 10 minutes remaining. They are just talking about Leinster, their game versus Sale Sharks. They're not going to tell us what the score is. Oh, 30-13. There you go. It's not over until the fat lady sings, and I know, says Miminia. And also Pretoria didn't like John Schmidt either. 4 points difference between these two sides. Did you guys read what I said about the 7 points? You did say that they were going for the 7 rather than the 3, and they did manage to get that full 7 rather than just the 5, which is the massive booster that they definitely require. But now it is in the hands of Paddy Jackson. Gets it out to Thacker Abrahams. He got the assist earlier on. Monty Ioane has just been invisible throughout this contest, unfortunately, and perhaps if they can get the ball to him, he could be the absolute game changer for the final moments. I would prefer 2 penalty goals by the Bulls to seal this. Let's go Bulls. Says Bupa, in 6 minutes is an hour to a team that is leading. Says Denzel, exactly right, and Stormers will sleep with both eyes open. Says Alessia. Now on the halfway line. Batiscu, you rush defence there onto Mathieu. Still managed to get the pass away. Brilliant acceleration being shown by the replacement Twiniano Borta. And I should mention that is for, oh, what a pass. What a pass for only a couple meters out, not panicking, tries to get back to his feet and go again. It's already had a try in the second half. Sorry for not saying who it was, but they go out the back line. Lyon for the corner, score it. And they are back in the lead now. And that is their bonus point as well. You're talking about the Stormers will sleep with both eyes open. Perhaps we've just seen the Bulls sleeping for the past minute after scoring because Lyon made too many meters in a moment. This pass is insane. The replacement 19 got it off to the try scorer from earlier on in the half. Chaskoset is the name. It's really hard to say, I'll be honest. Definitely the French name, but they passed it out wide and managing to score. Regard gets it in the corner. And I was like, F no, says Rian. I think you jinxed them, Miminer. They're not over yet. Exactly right. That's the beauty of this game. These two sides will go back and forth, lead change after lead change, and no one's won it yet. Currently, though, the Bulls have gone from favourites to underdogs. They are now $4.50. How does that happen? How do you become $4.50 underdogs with 8 minutes remaining when there's been so many? Okay, $3.20. It's gone down a little bit. The Stormers must worry because they will next week. Oh, so we have got there. Oh my goodness. Says 123 MS, and I know why. It's like World Cup again. Says Denzel. But the kick has missed, which now means that the Bulls are within 1. Well, they're 1 behind at the moment. And there's still time, says Chloe. There certainly is. 7 minutes remaining. Lyon have got the advantage of 1 point. The Bulls will be kicking off from left to right. Oh, massive change. Chris Smith has been taken off the field. And that is for Van der Vault. And thank goodness they missed. Says Bupa, yeah, makes a little bit less pressure on the Bulls here. But they will, of course, want to get this ball straight back. As they are trying to. They have to play territory now, Lyon. Paddy Jackson puts it high. It's not going to be the best kick there. Goes into touch. Only about 30 metres out from the line. And let's hope Lyon hope. Or let's give Lyon hope. Says Alessia. And there as well. But now the Bulls. Chance for them. They are still considered underdogs in this matchup. Go like this. There we go. And drop goal. Don't tempt them. They'll probably consider it. They've got the advantage in this case here, the Bulls. So they'll be sitting more than happy because they will be able to get the extra 3 points if it doesn't lead to anything, which it doesn't. But they will now be able to take the lead back more than likely. They're March 10 as well. Drop goal, says Bupa, although they can just have the penalty kick. Okay, they've been told to improve their discipline at line-out time and more. Where are the next games being played? Says 123 MS. So the next game for the Bulls is going to be happening at Cape Town Stadium. These are the next 5 contests, though. They have got the game up against the Stormers. Then they've got Bristol, which will be in England. They've got the home game up against Bordeaux, which is a massive advantage for that contest with the way Bordeaux are playing. And then a home and away up against the Lions as well. Yeah, the penalty advantage now giving the Bulls the advantage back in this contest perhaps, although it won't be Chris Smith lining up this kick. We need to mention it is a new man on the kicking tee. Van der Vault now has to step up. It's from about 25 metres out on the angle, so this is normally a stock standard kick for Chris Smith. And I'd like to say it's normally a stock standard kick for Van der Vault as well. But in a situation where there's a little bit more pressure, can he nail it? Van der Vault. He's missed. To the left. Have they made a clinical error taking Chris Smith off the field? For 5 minutes of Van der Vault to be out there. We have got their trial drop kick, says Chloe. So just to put that into perspective for that kick, right? The Bulls were sitting as favourites. $1.80, I believe it was. And then because that kick is missed from Van der Vault, they go right back down to $4 underdogs. No Van der Vault. And also we've got there come on the Bulls. And also is Van der Vault from Edinburgh. Oh, is he? If he's not, there's another fella from Edinburgh, isn't there? Now Lyon with the counter ruck. They don't get the ball, though. The ball's still in possession. Now the clock says 80, but we're actually at 76 minutes at the moment throughout this contest, ladies and gentlemen. The Bulls down by 1, and they are not giving up as of yet. Nice pass out wide from Van der Vault. Gets it to Foster. Moving up to the halfway line. Looking for the strip of the ball there from Lyon. They know that if they can get it back now, they're in a position where they may not be able to lose this game. Nice attacking run forward from the Bulls replacement, Taihe Machunu. Now back across, looping play here. Sergio Pedersen puts the fender, went for the risky offload over the top. Now it has hit a Lyon hand, so I believe it is going to be the line out for the Bulls. They're asking for it. They're saying it was touched. They might have to check this one. I did see the touch of the hand from Lyon. It's going to be the blue ball, as they have just said. From that pass on the outside, just brushes the fingertip of Monty Ioane. They're playing in Cape Town next week, if I'm correct. Says Chloe, you are indeed. And advantage come on, ref, says Denzel, we're in trouble. Says Helen, it is not over yet, though. They have got themselves the line out. All they need is a penalty. But the problem is the last penalty was missed. So they can't really, I guess, rely on the penalty too heavily. They need a try. Or they need to get a drop kick right. Maybe. And line out from how far? Still 55 metres out, and it is over the top. Slap back Lyon back in possession now. And they will be 42 metres out from the Bulls line. Marco van Staden trying to get the turnover, but does not manage to do so. Paddy Jackson passes across to Monty Ioane. Good shot on him. Foster looking for the turnover, but he cannot afford to give away that penalty while Lionel Mapo is still in the breakdown. Another attacking run from the big number 4. And as Lyon make their way up the field, they slowly have more of a chance. Thacker Abrahams, he tried to kick him behind, and it's been charged down by the Bulls, but it's back to Paddy Jackson, who's picked up and dumped on his back. It was a massive mistake from Thacker Abrahams, for perhaps felt bad playing his fellow South African side. I think they think it's all over, but it is far from that. 2 minutes remaining, and they're only 30 metres out from their line now, Lyon. They've been forced back about 40 metres from where they were. So they know that they have to kick this one, and that is exactly what Baptiste Kuyu is going to do. He's put it high, making it contestable for both of these sides. Beautifully run onto from Van der Vault. Going to this right-hand side. Still time on the clock for the Bulls. Looking for that advantage if they can get it. Andre, or in fact it's Jan Hendrik Wessels, I should say. Now Van der Vault, nice attacking run forward. They almost gave away the penalty there, Lyon. Tip tackle. Tell you what, they have to be careful doing that. He has driven him down onto his back. 1 point game, says Mimania. They all have been of recent times. Stormers versus La Rochelle was no different. The Stormers scoring the last minute try to win them that game. Now pass, now wide. Sergio Pedersen stepping inwards. Thacker Abrahams. He almost got neck rolled there. Now off to the left again. Nice attacking run from the Bulls. 1 minute remaining. Van der Vault gets it off to Machunu. Driven backwards. Still good work from Lyon's defence to not give away the penalty as of yet. But you wonder, will the discipline hold up or will someone make the mistake? Let's run from Marcel Kutsia. Going back across to the right, flat ball. A handling error would end this game for the Bulls. But they are yet to have one. Rush defence on Van der Vault. There's someone's boot is just sitting down on the 22. How far are the Bulls from the line? They've still got 50 metres to go. They have gone phase after phase just on the halfway line. Short ball to Harold Foster. He's been one of the standouts in the back line for the Bulls in this contest. But we are now 8 seconds away from the full-time siren, ladies and gentlemen. Is there going to be a handling error or is there going to be a miracle for the Vodacom Bulls away from home? Nice attack and run from Lionel Mapo. Now around the side, Marco van Staden. He has dropped to the ground. They can't strip it. They almost tried to there. Lyon, they have to be very careful. With their discipline, it's slapped out of their hands. Lyon have managed to take it back and they win the penalty. Player leaving the feet. The Bulls halfback got the ball out. It was slapped from his hands from Lyon. And I think that's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen. Marcel Kutsia. They're going to check it. Oh, here we go. They haven't said it's game over yet. They want to check it upstairs. If he hits the hand, I believe it's going to be a penalty to the Bulls. Oh, okay, sorry. If he hits the arm, it's fine. If he hits the ball, it's a deliberate knock-on, and it will be the penalty to the Bulls. I hope the Stormers teach these Bulls a lesson. Says Mimania, penalty for the Bulls. Says Bupa. It's a chance. They want to check this one on the TMO, though. So it is as follows, like I mentioned. If it's slapped out of the hand without the man touching the arm, it is considered a deliberate knockdown, and it will be the penalty to the Bulls about 45 metres out. Oh, I think he gets the hand there. I know he makes contact with the ball, but I think he got the hand first, which then meant that the ball was loose in the hand. Now, this angle might show us something else. Oh, no, that angle makes it look like the ball's involved. And they've just said, can it be a deliberate knock-on if the ball's gone backwards? And in that case, it can't be. So, it's not a knock-on. I don't know what this is going to be ruled as. It's the end of the game. It was a penalty to Lyon. They put the ball into touch and they win. That was a very confusing end to what has been an intense contest, but a 1-point win for Lyon up against the Bulls. I should mention as well, Lyon, they have walked away with 5 points on the board here compared to the Bulls who walk away with 1. And it is a massive one for Lyon at home. They've had to work extremely hard to get that victory. We have got their Bulls to blame, or have themselves to blame. Says Denzel, and shoot, says Chloe there. And also drop goal, says Denzel. And their chat as well. But right down to the wire, if no, says Rian. Tell you what, that was one of those confusing decisions that, like, they easily probably could have ruled it either direction. In the end, though, they said that it couldn't be a deliberate knock-on because it had gone back. Jake subbed Chris Smith too soon. I agree. Chris Smith should have played the full 80. Yes, you've got a man on the bench in Van der Vault, but if you've got a man in Chris Smith who was in the starting lineup, who hasn't been missing that many kicks, he's missed one today. That easy one, like I said, it was about 25 metres out. Van der Vault, in another scenario, would have liked to have just slotted that one over easy peasy. In this game, though, you needed the man who's already been out on the field, who's felt that pressure and has been able to handle it. And the great meet here all says Mimania, and also hi, says Brandon, and the chat as well. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Bit of an intense finish to that contest, but we have seen 2 games between South African and France sides, and they have both been 1-point games. So what is next for these two teams? That is the big question. Well, the Stormers next week are playing the Bulls, so that will be an intense one. And Lyon have got another game in the top 14 competition. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are hoping to do Toulouse versus the Harlequins tomorrow, and that will be at a similar time, or actually it will be at a different time to any of the games we did today. That will be at 5:15 p.m. South African game, or South African time, I should say. And also we have got their good game. Thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Vincent. No worries at all. And thank you very much for being here for this live stream. It is greatly appreciated you all tuning in for these ones. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back with more Champions Cups and more URC. Like I mentioned, Stormers versus Bulls. We are covering that game next week on the channel as well. But the Bulls, they'll be disappointed. They were so close. They actually made the Bulls actually go for it. No, sorry. They made Lyon have to score a try to be able to get into the lead. And by doing so, Lyon were able to do it and actually got themselves that bonus point in the process as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We will be back tomorrow, like I mentioned. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all for the next one.